Hi everyone, I'm Tammy Franklin and welcome to my channel, Keep Healing Sis. I'm a woman who has walked through deep grief, loss healing, and now restoration. Over the past few years, I've begun sharing that journey more openly here. This space is rooted in truth healing, faith, and what life looks like when God begins rebuilding you from the inside out. Today's video matters because I'm sitting in the aftermath of a significant shift that had been forming for a long time and recently came to completion. It ushered me into a season where being hidden no longer works. Nearly a year ago, I made a declaration that felt bold, almost uncomfortable to say out loud. I left a comment on another channel's YouTube video and wrote, without hesitation, that it was my year to launch and my final year in the corporate rat race. I did not know how it would happen. I just knew something in me was finished. There are moments in life when clarity arrives before the evidence ever does. That was one of those moments. Women from everywhere found that comment, and since then, one question has followed me. How's it going now, sis? So today I want to answer that, honestly. So I'll explain this in a few different parts. The first part is the shift to explain that itself. Not long ago, I was actually laid off from my corporate job. And in that moment, I realized what had just happened. Nearly a year earlier, I publicly declared this would be my final year in the corporate rat race on that YouTube channel in the comment section. I did not know then how the exit would come, but I instinctively knew the season had ended. So when the layoff happened, I understood it very differently. This was not a layoff, but a promotion and confirmation that the season had ended. God had already prepared my heart for the exit well before that door ever closed. The declaration came first, then the release followed. And that is what marked the beginning of this new season I now called Now We Build. This season carries with it an abundance of peace, not because everything has been figured out, but because everything is aligned. And I know my steps feel very ordered in this moment. After 40 years of constant work in various capacities, urgency, and responsibility, what matters now is presence, health, and intentional living. Some doors closed without discussion, while others became unmistakably clear. What changed most is how I steward my life now. My time is no longer treated as expendable. It belongs to me. My calling is no longer delayed. My life is no longer lived in survival mode. And now I can breathe. what now we build actually means. So to further explain, building does not look like hustle for me. It is none of that, but it is deep alignment. I am building from what God has already placed in my hands and no longer chasing what was never assigned to me. For years, I carried visions that felt disconnected from my daily lived reality. Now I see how every piece was preparation for this very current season. My book, Unmasked, Unbroken, Healed, and Set Free, this healing platform, the healing work, the message of hope, all given to me in seasons ago, and the obedience behind the scenes that had to happen. Nothing was random. Now I am simply building what had already been established long ago. So how healing shows up. Healing in this season is just very practical. To put it very simply, I rest when my body says rest. I listen to what I sense without overriding it. And I am no longer forcing movement to prove progress. There is a level of maturity that comes from walking through loss, grief, disappointment, and restoration. And now that maturity shapes how I'm moving in this season. Work, purpose, and alignment. So my relationship with work has changed. I am intentional about where my energy goes. I now prioritize alignment over approval. I choose depth over busyness. And one of the greatest freedoms I've gained is this: I do not owe explanations for growth, obedience, or transition. The shift, and perhaps even my life as well, speaks for itself. Faith in this season. So faith in this season feels steady. It has to be. It's not loud, performative, or pressured. But most assuredly, it is steady. And I trust the divine timing of this incredible shift. What I allow for myself now, I allow time without guilt, margin to process, think, and breathe without apology, creativity that flows with ease, clarity without explanation or over explanation. I am now building a life that once only existed as glimpses, dreams, prayers, and private declarations. Looking back at this previous year, when I look back over this past year, I see evidence of what happens when declaration meets obedience. I published my memoir, as I said, a deeply personal account of grief, trauma, healing, and restoration. It is simply my public testimony. My book, once again, Unmasked, Unbroken, Healed, and Set Free, it became a #1 Amazon bestseller across 10 categories within 1 day of release. And I experienced the very shift I had declared publicly, the release from corporate life that created space to walk fully now in my purpose. The declaration formed the foundation. The release confirmed the shift. And now the building has begun. In closing, I just want to state that this is the hour where being the message becomes my lived reality. This moment feels like preparation finally meeting its appointed time, and there's so much more to come. Now, we build. As always, I pray you're journeying well. Let's keep getting this healing, family. I'm Tammy Franklin, also known as QuietStormzzzSpeaks. And once again, there's so much more to come. I leave you with the highest form of peace, and that is shalom.